The question comes up often, what is burlesque? It's a very broad word that comes to us through the vaudeville tradition. Actually, in its origins, it comes from medieval Italian, from burlesque, which means satire or parody. So it's always been part of a tradition of poking fun at social norms and again, helping people to expand their perception and understanding of culture. What it means in the modern era, essentially, is adult-themed entertainment of an empowering nature. So burlesque doesn't always mean stripping. Sometimes it just means, again, people who are comfortable and empowered in their bodies, having a great time, ideally, employing musicality, theatricality, a high level of professional polish, and ideally, in my opinion, always a sense of humor. But the burlesque genre is much more than stripping, and that is what makes it such an avenue for empowerment and exploration. Nobody does burlesque that doesn't love to do it. And when you come to see a burlesque show, you'd be amazed to see that so many of the performers are not the conventionally accepted beauty norm. It's like, for example, last year at EBSFest 2010, we had Cherry Typhoon come from Japan. She was a very short, very curvy woman, and you could feel the audience expectation when she first came out. And they're like, oh, that's nice. And then she was incredible. People were jumping out of their chairs. Be that societal norm, never be tall enough, never be thin enough, never be rich enough, whatever, the cultural pressures are. And it's like, well, I can either feel terrible about myself for being inadequate for the rest of my life, or I can decide that is a standard which I refuse to accept, and I'll just put it aside and ignore it and go on my merry way and do my my thing. And I swear, every person who sees me or any performer in that sort of celebrity capacity, is always seeing. You think that it's tangible beauty or glamour or something, but what it really is self-acceptance. And that makes people say, you are the most beautiful thing in the world. I'm like, well, I weigh 150 pounds and I'm 5'4" and 40 years old. I'm not sure that you know what you're looking at. What you're actually seeing is some self-acceptance, which is so stunning, in a culture where you're supposed to, as women, always feel bad about yourselves. Otherwise, you're uppity. Those are the options that you're given, essentially. And as soon as you push back against that notion that somehow you're not good enough, then that's inherently political. You're inherently taking a stand to change dominant culture.